Hi all. Right, back with some more Red Storm. See if I can get things started here. However, I'm not sure what I'm going to call this part. Um, I get the feeling I might just call it NSC1 Part 11. Part 10 was the latest one that I'd done. I thought we were finished, and then I think there's a slim possibility that I could have pulled things off. Also, there was a few comments to talk about, and so if it's quick enough, I might just like chuck it in here at the beginning, and it might well become the first part of NSC2, which is the next scenario. Which I'll have to go looking into it and set up. So yeah, I was kind of hoping I might get the start of that started tonight, but maybe not. I must admit, I'm kind of, I suppose DD at Saipan's kind of taken over a little bit. Sorry, John. um, Quite keen to try and move that a little bit. But I have been enjoying this, so it's not that I hope I can split my attention between the both. But I guess it depends how you feel when you get the time and you've only got a limited amount of time. It depends how you feel about what you want to do. But if I can get this one started, I think I'll be more keen about coming down and sitting down to it. It's just that I know I'm going to be learning some new things here, and whereas DD at Saipan, well, there's a lot more to learn over there, I think. But at least I'm starting to get into the meat of it now. We just completed a turn and whatever. Anyway. Okay, so let's push on. Yeah, I mean, I got some final comments from John Brown, of course, who's followed along. Also got a wee comment from, was it Bill? Right, jump by that one. Where are we? Yeah, Bill Durant. Hi Grant, great job. Thank you. Watch them all through. I'll be off to Saipan shortly. I did sort of reply to him, just letting him know that glad you enjoyed it. I may revisit that last part. Like I say, as it seems, I may still have had a very slim chance of success. If not, I'm looking forward to scenario 2. And Saipan is starting to move slowly, I said. So, yeah, so John's comments. Yeah, I wanted to get, where's my reply? Yeah, just so I've got some comments myself. Right, at the 2 minute, he's got things timestamped as usual, which is always good for people that want to look at what has exactly been talked about. Now I know it's been possibly a week since I've had a shot of this, maybe more. It was me sort of challenging the way that the events are dealt with regarding the solo side of the events, and yeah, I was maybe sort of saying, well, I'm not so sure, John, but so challenging somebody that knows the game better than me. However, I think between saying something and him replying, I think I did come clean and hold my hands up and say, right, that should be, whatever. And yeah, I'm pretty sure John is right. Well, yeah, I'm fairly confident. He says, my surety comes from the solo play sequence description of the random event phase on the table above, but reproduced following. And it says it there. When a random, I'll not bring the table. I said I would stop bringing things out onto the map, so I'm going to have to start doing that, or things are going to be just more cumbersome and When a random event requires the bot to make a choice or take some action, refer to the list on the solar player aid card. So, yeah, so refer to the list on the solar player aid card. Yeah, and that is basically just the bot random event instructions there. That bit was highlighted way at the top there, random events, and just telling you to refer to these. And I think I seem to be confused by what would happen. Yeah, see, this is why I probably should look at the timestamp that he's talking about, just to get exactly clear what he's saying. I know I was challenging things, saying, well, that doesn't seem clear about how you should do that, but I'm pretty sure it became clear to me that we would, right, where is the events then? On the back of one of these, right. So here's the scenario random events, right? And then we also do have this, the dark blue defection do have certain let's over the page on it. Ignore the following random events, play raid card 5 if rolled. 5, 6, 11, 14 and 15. So we would ignore them completely. However, the other ones, and ones that we were coming, and funnily enough, I made a comment in the header, did I not? Saying that, yeah, a bit of a messy part of this. I've timestamped at 53:30. You'd think that all that talk about how to deal with event fees properly, that I'd get things right this time. Well, yet again, I forgot to roll again to see which side the event applies to. Just while I'm here, I also forgot to mark the Vlad flight with a BVR avoid marker, which I think may actually give me one more possible chance at success. So I may revisit this before starting the next series to see what happens. Yeah, I had done that. Yeah, but I missed the event again. It was like, you know what? So, keep clicking, sorry. Yeah, so I 9 to 10 command confusion, and I suppose I got all flustered because I knew that if I rolled a 9 or 10, that was it. It was game over. But however, once we've rolled a 9 or 10, we still need to roll to see if it affects Warsaw Pact or NATO. And well, I'm going to do that right now, and then, however, if it comes to a 7 to 10, we might still carry on and review what could have happened. And I still think it's quite unlikely that we could have succeeded. But so yeah, I didn't roll for that. So although I rolled for the command confusion, I didn't roll for that. And obviously, if we roll a 1 to 6, well, let's see what we roll. Let's hope it is a 1 to 6. This is just one dice, yeah. Is that right? Yeah, a 1 to 6 it would be Warsaw Pact. Ah well, looks like that's a 9, I think, isn't it? Right, so it is NATO. But if it had been Warsaw Pact, I mean, it is NATO, so that means we cannot attack. So that's it. It would indeed be game over. However, I was a bit annoyed, and I said, well, let's just say that we've got some. Well, John seems to feel that maybe that event should be one of the ones that they don't that you ignore, because it's kind of brutal that to end the game like that. But anyway, if it had been a 1 to 6. It says this event only applies to the human player side. Ignore any result that affects the bot side. But if we rolled a 1 to 6, we would still look there, and then we would just ignore the event. We wouldn't apply it to the Warsaw Pact, but we wouldn't do it to ourselves. And I think that's where I was initially getting confused, and also getting confused with some of the other events. We still need to roll on them, and if they land over here, we then need to read these and see what is it said. Yeah, man-pad ambush, that was another one. Now, if it affects a Warsaw Pact player, it says randomly select a human player. Now, I was looking at that in totally different other way. I was thinking if you rolled on NATO, it affected NATO, but that's not the case. NATO would be able to apply it to the Warsaw Pact, that one. So I kind of was getting them all a bit wrong. So John was clearing things up for me there, and I think I've got the hang of it, but well, we will see as things go on, if that's for sure. Yeah, and I replied with, yeah, just the Grantos thing, I think, John. I think it does eventually sink in. And I get the feeling I maybe do talk about it throughout part 10, when there's a sort of light bulb moment. Yeah, okay, I've got it. And this one was good to know. Yeah, this was good to know, because I wasn't sure about this one. I'm glad John came back with it. Again, time stamped, so I'll not look at what I'm actually saying, but I've think I know what I'm talking about. Basically, I'm questioning. I'm actually asking a question, and if I recall, about the MiG-29 with the IRST ability, and the fact that the IRST check is a second check, but it needs to be in the forward arc. However, if it was in the forward arc from the start, I think you could do 2 IRST checks. Is that right? Let's see what he says. My take, what I asked him was, if it wasn't in the forward arc, no, that's wrong. Even if it was in the forward arc, what I was asking was, is your first attempt a visual attempt, which means you're using the visual column, and the second attempt is only applicable if it's in the forward arc, and then you would do it on the IRST column. So that's what I was asking, what I was saying there was, if it wasn't in the forward arc, could you still do a visual attempt, one visual attempt? So my take is that you make one attempt on the visual column, representing using the old Mark 1 eyeballs. So you're looking around, looking for planes out there. Then, if IRST capable and the target is in the forward arc, make a second attempt in the IRST column, representing using the IRST. That said, I'm not 100% sure on that interpretation. I said, that sounds good to me, and the way I was thinking of it working also. So we'll play it like that until I heard anything different. So yeah, I like that. That went along with the way I was thinking of it as well, and it's always nice when you think about something one way and then you get confirmation. I mean, okay, John has said he's not 100%, but good enough for me, John. And it needs somebody else to come on and tell me otherwise. It needs to be the designer or somebody that's put more hours into it than you, which I get the impression that's quite a few hours. Okay, so next one. Okay. Yeah, here was me saying I wasn't putting charts out and whatever, and I'm still doing it. But I did say once I move on to the next scenario, so here we go. So this was at the 36.45 mark, and it was me discussing, actually we can probably look at the flights, and it was me discussing the fact that at the time, and if you were a human player yourself and knew all you needed to do was get over Cassel Air Base, then there was a possibility for one of these flights to set dash throttle, move in there, end the game, right? So I was thinking, is there anything within the instructions? Didn't seem to be that. I mean, the AI model for this game isn't that complex. It looks good enough to me, it does. But I think it's going to leave some of these things like that. The other one that we found was, I think maybe that comes up as well, the fact that we know in a generic flight, if it's the last generic flight, it should be laden with its bombs and it should have a certain speed. But however, it's still generic at the time. It's not been activated, identified. So you've just got to kind of go along with that. And these things need to be to make the solo, to give the solo experience, to make it work. And I think it makes a good job of it. So, I was just asking about, is there anything there? So, John's taking it. I tend to play the AI by the book, and nothing says that the AI will use dash throttle in that situation. I agree that a human player would likely have been having those Su-24s and their 10 fuel points. Yeah, he points out that they've got 10 fuel points as well, so it's not as if they need to. The MiG's only got 4, isn't it? Yeah, MiG has 4, so you can understand that maybe being careful with its fuel, but the bombers have 10, so, and their 10 fuel points, moving at dash throttle at least this turn, if not a turn or two prior, so to try and get there quicker. Perhaps this is why the DBD rules use the clean profile, which I just talked about, the fact that it stays clean up until you identify it, until it's activated, to put the same pressure on as a human player could do with the choice of dash throttle. So yeah, good point. I said excellent, sounds good to me, and that's a great explanation, I said. So yeah, you just kind of like go, let the bot do its thing, I mean, sometimes these games, the bot have a slight advantage, sometimes they have a slight disadvantage. it should all balance out to hopefully make it an enjoyable experience for a solo player, you know. And this one, just not far from that, the 40 and a half minute mark. And yeah, I'm recalling what this was as well. Was we kind of had a bottleneck where the Vlad flight, I want to wonder if it was actually activated at the time. I don't think it was. However, it was the case of moving it to a position behind. It was kind of causing a bottleneck. We couldn't end up in the same hex at low altitude. Now, they need to be at low altitude to do the bomb and run. When they hit the last waypoint, or should I say waypoint A4, before the actual target A5, then they've got to go to low altitude. That says that in the instructions. So to me, although I think even John does mention going to deck, I don't think that's right, because it could well be that you need to bomb at low level, you know. Maybe John knows that you could go to deck level to use these bombs, I don't know. But the instructions do say it's go to low, and that's that. And yeah, and it was creating that little bottleneck. So what I'd done was, I didn't feel that great about it either, and I'm glad John's replied the way he has, because I would have ended up not doing what I'd done. I'm going to leave it now, but I wanted to not do this, if you like, but I felt like it was more beneficial for the AI to do it that way. So, and he says, yeah, I think this is a case where you have to help the AI by making a decision. Do you spend a movement point to turn and then move forward? Do you move forward 2 and do a free turn? Or do you drop to deck and stack under Tolikov flight, altitude-wise? So, like we said, drop to deck and go underneath Tolikov. I thought about that one, but then I thought, well, it tells you need to be at low altitude. Or do you use combat throttle and specify 1 movement point and stay right behind Tolikov flight? Now, I never thought about that, because remember, you can put 1 less in your speed. So, at combat throttle, you can, and I was only at 2, so I could have just used 1 movement point and then stop behind them, which that might have been something to do as well. So all these are questions. What is the best for the AI, really? It says you could randomize which, or just pitch whichever one makes the most sense to you. I thought he had said, right, it comes up. How is that? Is that the same question? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is me bumbling, answering his question before I've read it completely. Yeah, okay, so I replied with, yeah, I had the feeling this was going to be left up to the player. I hadn't thought about only using the 1 movement point. My worry here is, should I have thought about this possibility the previous turn and finish with a turn, as I ended up doing? So I kind of stepped back a bit and said, right, okay, he would have made a turn there, but I didn't feel good about that. I'm not so sure I should have, I said. I should have just followed the waypoint markers. Then, if it then hinders the movement in the following turn, then so be it. And maybe, like you say, end with only spending the 1 movement point. Not sure about going to deck though, as SSR8 says to go to low. And the bit that I hadn't read while I typed that, funnily enough, said, and this is John again, I don't tend to have the AI do any looking forward to sort out things like this. So I would have probably left them on the path facing southwest. But your way is definitely valid, and I just went, I hadn't read that part yet as I typed it above, so I agree with you also. So yeah, I would have just left them, he was there facing that way, and I kind of stepped back to the last turn and said that he had turned to make it easier. But I should have just done that, then moved them in there with a 1 movement point right behind Tolikov. So in actual fact, I think that's where Vlad would be, which would work for us as well, because you see Vlad is within 2 now, so is Tolikov. But let me just say, I'm not done with this turn. I'm not done with turn 8 yet, because there is something I can still do, which I hadn't realised. Yeah, I think I commented. Yeah, I talked about the role and the command was this command confusion? No, hang on. Yep, it only be autos if you roll 7 plus, but the odds are against you at this point. Glad you're playing on. And then I said, yeah, I still can't believe I forgot to roll and check though after going over it. Yeah, that was a command confusion, which I've just now rolled, and we would the game's over. We've lost, okay, but let's just see if we can maybe just push on through this. And the way I'm going, there's 20 minutes here. If I do a wee bit moving counters about, we'll have a part 11 after all, and then and then I can start afresh, hopefully. Okay, at 119.15, he says, yep, you only need to roll for Vlad number 1 to see if he jettisons, since the damage Vlad number 2 is already jettisoned. Good stuff, I said. Yeah, it's 1 die. The roll for... that was a jettison roll? Yeah, that was a jettison roll. And although it didn't seem clear on the thing, I kind of thought it was, because it was like... Was it like something like 1 to 6? 1 to 6, you would jettison 70, and then 7 plus it said, something like that. So he does confirm there it's one die roll. So yeah, good. Yeah, he brought this one up, and I hadn't thought about this. Although maybe the reason I hadn't thought about it, nah, to be honest, I wouldn't have thought about it. I did say I wasn't going to use these. There's 2 advanced combat rules. This one, however, I mean, they are just advanced combat rules. And anyway, what are we talking about? Let's get his comment first. Technically, you could use the advanced combat rule in 11.51 for multiple attacks to go after both Vlad and Tolikov in the same turn. Move forward 1 hex, 30 degree right to get both in your front arc, and the requirements for attacking both flights met. That said, it'd still be up to the dice if you were successful, so probably best to call it. And then I replied, I hadn't thought of that. To be honest, though, I think I had said I wouldn't use any of the 2 advanced combat rules. However, they don't seem to be optional rules, so I guess I could have used them if I wish. I mean, they're not rules that you've got to say at the beginning, I'm going to use this and I'm going to use that, or I'm not going to use that, as optional sort of options. So I guess I could have done that. And that is a position where we would be sitting right now. Admittedly, I think if this Warsaw Pact get initiative still, they're still going to win. Yeah, because Tolikov can just move 2. Because that was us, we were moving on in turn 9. Yeah, okay. Right, let's finish the comments first, Grant, before you... yeah, just one more to go. Well, it was just a comment at 128. It says, comments might be delayed depending on work, home circumstances, but they will come eventually. I said, excellent, thanks for all your help and bring on the SAMs. So that was me talking about moving on to the next scenario. So, right, sorry, I had to make a cut and a bit of an edit there as my wife burst into the room and shouted obscenities that were funny but had to be cut out. Yeah, I dare say some people might see the humour and all that, but other people could be quite easily offended. So, okay, so where was I? Yeah, I just finished talking about John's comments. I think I was going on to say when she spoiled things. Thanks for that, Tracy. I had to now edit that part out and start again. Anyway, yeah, so we can create this into a small part, and then rather than me, then I can start with part 2 of this, the next scenario from afresh, basically. Right. Okay. So, well, let's. I mean, do we really need to go into that? We've found out the event did roll against us, but then we've done that already. Let's just see what it was my thinking was. And to be honest, that part about what John had just said, maybe Vlad should actually be around here. Behind him. So that's what I would have done. And in particular after reading John's thoughts on what he would have done there. But okay, I'll leave it where it is, because the thing that got me thinking is, and I mentioned this in the header also, that Vlad should have a BVR avoid marker, and I thought, well, is that going to matter? It's one movement point to remove it. But remember, he's laden, he's at combat throttle, in which his speed is 2. So he's going to have to remove that one for 1 and then move 1 hex. He's still not going to be over Cassel Airfield. He's going to be 1 short. Now, you might think, well, what about Tolikov? Well, we haven't, if I can just rewind a little bit and say we haven't finished the turn. Now, because we did not carry on with our movement, I'm going to have to go back and view things here, aren't I? Let me just kind of guess my way through this, because I'm freely admitting that the events have went against us, and I don't mind losing this scenario. I don't mind losing anything, but anything. That's a big statement, Grant. In any game, I don't mind losing. Okay. So Vlad, we damaged one of his flights, and who's the other bomber? Tolikov. We shot down one of his flights. So yeah. What I was realising was, although like John's point about attacking them both, we could have done that, hadn't thought about that, but let's just not go that one. We could still conduct air-to-air combat with Tolikov right now, knowing that Vlad cannot reach Cassel, so actually we don't need to care if things go well in the air-to-air combat against Tolikov. Now, if we were to get disordered like we did in the last air-to-air combat, then that'll be that. But however, so let's just say, I'm pretty sure we had the movement left, because I'd only moved 1, I think. So let's just say, now I don't know if we've done any. We must have done the undetected checks and all that. Let's just leave everything there, but let's carry on and say that we moved 1 more hex into here, right? And then initiated standard air-to-air combat. We're at the same altitude. We're facing them head on. I think this is one that you better coming in from the rear or the side, the beam, sorry. However, let's just move in there and see if we can do some standard air-to-air combat to see if we might have pulled this off. I mean, what we're going to... Well, actually, would I not have been better, but I mean, do I have the movement to go 1 free turn, 2 free turn, and come in from the side? I think that's what I'd been thinking. Let me just see what movement points I had left. I'm hunting to try and find this, and I'm not really finding it. But I believe we were in this hex to start with. So we spent 1 movement point to move into there, and then conducted our double BVR engagement on both Vlad and Tolikov. We got 1 shot off against Vlad. We didn't do any to Tolikov or something like that. We never got any shots on Tolikov. So with that, looking at our card here, we were, I'm not going to say we went to dash speed. However, that would affect our turns anyway, going to dash speed. So we have 3 more movement points left. Now, obviously I can't have a free turn now, because that is part of your actually move then free turn. So I wouldn't be able to do that. But couldn't I do 2 free turn, 3, and then a 90-degree free turn? Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, could I not get up there and behind them? Could I do that? I need 3 more movement. 1. Oh no, sorry, we're in there just now. I've got 3 more movement. 1, 2, 3. And could I not be facing them? Then I'd be in his rear beam. Is that not better for the air-to-air? The other reason I want to be turned round is because we then need to come back and get Vlad. But then again, well, actually, we're going to scatter and all that, but we still want to be facing this direction, I think, if we can. Right, let me try this. So 2, free turn. Sorry, that's a 60-degree free turn I've done. 3, 60-degree free turn. No, I'm not going to get right round, am I? 4, what is it? Is it not 90 degrees I can do? That's on the back, period 1, I remember that one. Period 1, where are you? That's 3, 1, I've got 1 inside out. No, I've not, where is it? Where is it? It's on 1, it's on the front, period 1. Speed of 4, no, it's only 60 degrees. So I don't think that is any good then, is it? 1, 30, 60, 2, 30, 60, 3, 30, 60. Yeah, I'm going to be facing the wrong direction, haven't I? That kind of doesn't work. Well, what about if I do... Can I not do a turn just now? 30, 60... And then move that out of the way, Grant, so we see where we're going. That's a 60-degree turn. That is me spent my second movement point. 3, free turn. 4, no, the free turn takes you into the hex. Grr. I'm pretty sure I could probably do it coming in 2, 3, 4. No, because I need to be adjacent to him as well, don't I? So 2, 3, with a free 60-degree turn. 4 with a free 60-degree turn. Is that not right? I think that works. And then I'm not in his front arc, I'm in his front beam. I hope that's better. I know the BVR was better from the front. But what I'm saying is I want to start turning because I want to try and get Vlad as well next turn. I want to start coming around. Let's go with that. Let's go with that and see. John can tell me if I've got it all wrong, and I'm not going to go back and revisit this again. If there's any more comments after that, I'll just take note of them and we'll start scenario 2 afresh, and I'll maybe mention it that a couple of things we got wrong, but I want to get the other map. I mean, it could well be we've got a different part of the map to set up. I don't know, because remember I've only got, I've got half the map folded over here, which fits really nicely. I'm kind of hoping that the first few scenarios might be on the same sort of area of the map. Fingers crossed, and then I don't need to move it. I've not looked though, so yeah, we shall see. Okay, so that's us moved our last movement point, and we are now going to initiate air-to-air combat against Tolikov. Okay, let's get the play chart for that. I've just realised something else here. Although we need to actually engage this time, whereas we are auto BVR engaging. This is standard air-to-air. We need to actually engage. It was just when I was reading, a flight may not attempt to engage the same enemy flight in standard air-to-air combat more than once per movement phase. However, if the attacking flight fails to engage a flight, it may try to engage another flight in a different hex or altitude band later in that movement phase. Again, I would have to spend a movement, but you need to actually spend a movement point before you can, which kind of makes me feel, you know what, I think we could get away with that anyway. It's just if we fail on Tolikov, we could go in on Vlad if we ended up in front of them, I think. What's the prerequisites are: defender must be detected, not start with a friendly flight. The defender must be detected. I know it's out of a friendly flight, yeah. Defender must be within 1 hex and in the same altitude band or the band immediately below. We're all at low. If in different hexes, the attacker must have the defender in its forward arc. Okay, yeah. Attacker must have an undepleted air-to-air weapon. Yeah, we've still got our IRMs, that are AIM 9Ms. And we've got guns. We've got guns, yeah. Attacker must not be disordered, aborted, have, yeah, all A or SAM attacks, yeah. So all of them are okay. So for the engagement roll, though, this is a bit I was concerned about, that the attacker defender makes separate engagement rolls. Yeah, okay. Let's look at the engagement table first. We might leave things like that, although I might change it and we might just come in front there, and then that we'd need to be, well, we need to do that 30-degree turn, which actually John actually commented about, and then both of them would be on our front arc. Yeah, that's right. Hang on. Right, let me get the table out that we're going to, the engagement roll thing. Maneuver table, I think. Yeah, I was hunting for it. It is on the same chart on this side, and I turned away from it. So, hang on, I get a better look at that. Okay, so engagement at 1.22. Now, we're not using the BVR this time, which was 9. So you can see the chances of BVR are easier. However, we had auto that, so we didn't even need to roll on that. But this time we've not. Now, the flights are detected, and it is the day. So it is only a 10 or greater we need on two dice. So roll greater than or equal engagement value to engage. F-15 flights all engage for BVR, but this is not BVR. So what about these modifiers? Now, the ones that are asterisked are only used in BVR, but they are also used in this. So we would have, now we both roll on this as well, but we really need a success, because if he gets a success and we do not, attacker no, defender yes. It's a defender's choice and there's no surprise or disadvantage. Well, I need to know what the bot will do there. Okay, yeah, it's on the chart. I had to look at the rules first, but it's on the chart. Show me that up. General bot flight behaviour there on player raid card 5. It's the third one down. It says bot flights decline engagement as defender if allowed to choose. So that would mean that if they get a yes and if they roll above a 10 and we do not, it's not going to happen. If neither of us roll, it's not going to happen. And so we definitely need to roll. Okay, so what are the modifiers then? Aggression value. So it doesn't really matter what he's going to roll as long as we have a good chance. Well, our aggression value is 0, isn't it? His is a +1, so that gives them a slightly better chance. But again, like I say, it's more about us here. Target in different altitude band would give a -1. No. Yeah, this is all about us, isn't it? If we were in a different altitude band, we get a -1. If our flight was disordered, we get a -1. No. Target's making a slash attack. No. Target in rear hemisphere. Ooh, okay, so that's bad. Okay, I got the feeling that coming from the back was better, but okay. Target in hazer miss. No moon conditions apply. No. I'm sure it was a comment John made quite recently. I don't think I read it there though, did I? Was it if you were in the same hex or something, maybe? I'm not sure now. I'm not sure. Right, well, what I think I might do then is adjust this, because we are going to need to roll a 10 or greater. So I know I'm messing about here, but so, and the fact that it doesn't look like it matters about coming from behind or not, I'm going to move. I had moved one movement point there, so no, sorry, I'd moved one movement point there, so I'm going to move 2 to there, and then I'm going to turn. Now, no, I need to turn just 30 degrees. That's what John had commented on, and then both. So I'm looking up the spine there, which means I've got both of them in my forward arc, and I need that. I need that to do the standard air to air. Right, okay, so I'm doing that. Now, I still need to spend a movement point. Well, I can turn, can't I? Can I turn? Can I make a... Can you do a free turn, and then your next movement point, do a turn? Well, hang on, Grant. All you do is... Well, all I do is I don't turn, and then if I don't get to go for Tolikov, I then make a turn. Yeah? Right. I'm making this more than it needs to be, am I not? Okay, we're going with that, and I still have 2 movement points left actually, so I can still turn and then have a go at him, because that's what it said I could do that, couldn't I? Where did I not have it open? I thought I was looking at the right bit. Detection. Where are we? No, move back a page, I think. Oh, I don't know where I'm at now. Engagement roll, that was where I was at. Yeah, okay. Yeah, however, if attacking flight fails to engage a flight, it may try to engage another flight in a different hex or altitude band later in that movement phase. So, yeah. So it just gives me a slight chance of doing them both. Let's see. If I've not got this right, I'll get told, and then that'll be that. So, I'm going to try and engage Tolikov. So we're rolling on that. We're both rolling this time. But like I say, we need a result or it won't happen. So, and we've no modifiers. It's a +0 for aggression. None of the other modifiers. We're all at the same altitude. Yeah, okay, so I'm rolling 2 dice and I need a 10 or greater. Right, here we go. I've rolled a 9. Would you believe it? I've rolled a 9. 8 and a 1. Yeah. Okay. So do I really need to roll for the defender? I mean, they got a +1 because... Oh, actually. What is this guy? Tolikov. Yeah, he still has a +1. It's Vlad that lost his aggression. So they've got a +1. So they need a 9 or greater, really. He's rolled an 8, so just under. So that was a no and a no. And then on that engagement results table, no combat occurs, right? Okay, so just swinging back to here again. We've still got 2 movement points left. And just going by what I've read there, my understanding is I can now turn 60 degrees, put him in my front arc, and we're going to attempt to engage him now as well. Same roll, we need a 10 or greater. I rolled 20. 2 zeros. Wow. What about that? Okay, so that's a yes. So now he gets to roll. Now he doesn't have a +1, like I said, because he lost his aggression down to 0. So he's not got a result, but he still wants to try and roll here, because I think it means we get a benefit if he misses this. So he needs a 10 or greater. He's rolled 18, so yeah. So we both succeed there. So yes and yes means commence combat, no surprise or disadvantage. Okay. Right, now, but we've got this table here. Can we not just follow up what's written here, Grant? So we've done engagement, attacker announces multiple attack or / attack. The multiple attack was the one John was talking about, which I should have thought about. Both the attacker and defender roll for engagement. If combat commences, proceed to step B. So that's where we're at. B. Move the attacking flight into the hex of the defender, retaining its heading. Replace generic flight markers. Don't need to do that. Announce disengagement or jettison options. Each side rolls a maneuver table to determine number of shots. Check if Soviet doctrine applies. Okay, well, disengagement. Now, I just read something about that when I was looking at the solo side of it. So Cobra moves in, keeping his his same heading, Grant, heading, yeah. So he's facing the actual hex side. He's at the 60 degrees, isn't he? Now, yeah, just it talks there about engagement role, engagement results. We've done that. Combat. Combat takes place in defender's hex and altitude. If defender's on the hex side, he's not. Right, I maybe need to move back to find out. It's just about the disengage part. Bot flights attempt to disengage if disordered or aborted. Oh, okay. So I think they would only do it if that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So maneuver. For standard air-to-air, each attacking and defending flight in a combat rolls for the maneuver. Roll 2 dice. Modifiers indicated. Consult the maneuver table. Cross-referencing the roll in the air-to-air column with a number of undamaged aircraft in the flight. Always use the one aircraft column if. Yeah, none of that. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, let's get the maneuver table up, I think. Okay, so we're both rolling on this, remember. So we'll do ourselves first. Rolling the table using the column for the number of undamaged aircraft in the flight. Yeah. So yeah, that is us. That is us. That's the number of aircraft. And we have 2, don't we? Cobra's got 2 aircraft. And the good thing is Vlad, he's got a damaged aircraft. That doesn't count, does it? It doesn't count. Number of undamaged aircraft in the flight. It says it right there, Grant. So that's good. So he's only rolling on the 1 column, whereas we're getting to roll on the 2. We've got 2 aircraft, so we've got a slightly better chance. So modifiers. Right, let's see. There's maybe something in here that might affect things. So we do use these. Yes, maneuver ratings. Right, hang on. Where's the maneuver rating? Okay, so the maneuver ratings of the 2 flights. We are an 8, +8. And, he's only a +4. Because he's a bomber, right enough, isn't he? So we've got a 4 right away to start with. Well, that's our maneuver rating. Right, so I'm just going to mark this here to say that we've got a maneuver rating of 4. Our 8 less their 4 gives us 4 still. So, but let's look at, this is what could adjust, sorry, I'll move that up a little bit. This is what could adjust this modifier. Flight maneuver rating modifiers. Did I do this first then, or should I do these first? Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Grant. So flight climbed this movement phase? No. Flight zoom climbed this movement phase? No. Marked with a maneuver marker? No. Marked with BVR avoid marker? No, but I tell you who is. He is. Right, so we are not getting anything to our modifiers. So we actually need, yeah. So our modifier, well, I take that back. We are an 8. Right? Now their maneuver rating, which I think we should be doing this first for the 2 flights. So we just look back on that. Did their flight climb? No. Did it zoom climb? No. Is it marked with a maneuver marker? No. Is it marked with a BVR avoid marker? It is. So that tells me that +4 becomes a +3. So now the maneuver difference, which we're just about to get to, well, I'll move back and I'll show you that. So once we move on to this, manoeuvre differential, subtract the enemy manoeuvre rating for the flight's manoeuvre rating, not applicable at night. So when I thought it was a 4, it's not. It's going to be a 5, isn't it? 8 minus the 3 gives us 5. So that's our manoeuvre rating. Now, yeah, their manoeuvre rating is going to be minus 3, isn't it? Is it? We had 8. We had plus 8. We had plus 3. That's plus 5. So they're going to be plus 3, take away the 8. Yeah, they're going to be minus 5, aren't they? I think. Yeah, okay. So we get a plus 5. That's strong. Aggression differential. Subtract enemy aggression value from flight's aggression value. We're both the same. Vlad was a 0 as well. Yeah, so no change there. Geometry. Maybe this is the one. Oh, we've done this. We've done an attack before, though. I got confused by this. This just meant what you'd be. Yeah. So if the attacking flight is in the defender's forward or forward beam arcs, I think that's where we are. We're in his forward beam arc, aren't we? It's where we came from. Yeah. I see. This is where you would benefit. Because if the attacker is in the defender's rear or rear beam arc, we would get a +1 and they would get a -1. So yeah, that is where it benefits. However, when we were doing the engagement roll, we got a -1 for coming in from behind. So I dare say I wanted to make sure I engaged. So well, anyway, we've done it this way. So there's no, because we're coming out the side at the front beam. There's a 0 and a 0, right? That's okay. Right, carrying on. We enemy flight disordered. It is not. Flight has surprise. No, there was no surprise or disadvantage. Enemy flight is disengaging. Well, it said it wasn't. No. Combat at night. No. That's it. So we've got a +5 though. We've got a +5. We're rolling on the 2 column because we've got 2 aircraft. And yeah, let's see what we get. The higher the better. Starting with +5. I'm pretty confident we're going to get something, yeah? Unless it's awful low. Oh, it's not the best. 7. +5 is 12. That's 1 hit. 1 shot. 1 shot. One more. 13 would have been 2 shots. So 12 is only 1 shot in the 2 column. So, so I'm going to mark him with a 1 shot, or should we do all this in a 1? We probably should. Or we're going to forget things. Unless there's ways of marking this. These are the things that, who was it made the comment? Sorry, I've forgotten who it was now. Made the comment about writing on the plexi, yeah. You know, I could say, well, it's in there, so it's a bit tricky to do, you know, but I could put a 1 there to say that's what 1 shot he's got, and then hopefully it just wipes off. Simple as. You know, I suppose you could do that. Well, let's just finish it off, because, you know, they're still going to get a shoot back at us, whatever, right? So we've got 1 shot. Result is the number of shot opportunities. Subtract 1 of slash attack. Yeah. So no, this isn't shot resolution, is it? Is it? Yeah, it is. It is. So select an undepleted weapon to shoot with, then roll 2 dice, apply modifiers, consult the table below. And the modifiers there are, well, the bottom one's not applicable to BVR, so it is applicable here. So we've got the combat value of the selected weapon. Well, I know we're jumping about here a bit. I'm actually trying to get this finished. Didn't think it was going to take this long. We've got the AIM 9Ms. They're there. And we're not BVR this time, and I got this wrong again the last time. We're actually a standard area, and this is where we get the +3. Because this is the, what is it? What is it called? The standard combat. Standard area combat, yeah. So we get a +3 for that. And then what is that other modifier then? Flight has one or more additional undepleted weapons. Yeah, we've got, and we can count our guns. So we can count we could fire to our guns. Our guns are a +3 as well. Yeah, so it's less chance of depleting. Well, I suppose if we do deplete, we've still got our guns for the next fight, if we get a chance to have a next fight. Bearing in mind, because we missed our fight on Tolikov, if they get the initiative now, then he can just move the 2 hexes, and that's that. So, okay, so +3 for the missile, +1 for having the guns, so we've got a +4 on this. Let's just roll and get on with that. This is 2 dice as well. +4. Oh, I've rolled 19. I don't think you want it that high. 19 +4 is 23. Oh, just, yeah. 20 to 23 is 1 aircraft damaged. Okay, now, well, this is where we need to get lucky. Because they've got 2 aircraft. Number 2 is damaged, and number 1 has nothing wrong with that. So where's the damage allocation? Alright, this is the big roll then. Well, we've had a few big rolls in this game. Sorry. Damage allocation, here we are. Let me get a bit closer. Okay, so we're rolling. Yeah, we have to count his damaged aircraft this time, don't we? Yeah, unfortunately we do. So we're rolling on the 2 column. This is only 1 dice. And yeah, he's not... Well, he's not crippled, so that's good. Because if we rolled a crippled result, it would target the crippled aircraft. But we need to roll a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4, I think. If we roll anything above a 4, it's going to target the second aircraft. I'm not sure what happens to a double damage, but it doesn't matter. He's still going to have 1 flight left. Right, so looking for a 1, 2, 3, or 4 here. We keep us ticking over. I've rolled a 4. Yes. Okay, so we're still in. So it is going to target. Well, it's got C1. Like I say, there's no crippled flights, so it is going to damage Vlad, number 1 flight. Both his flights are damaged now. Both his aircraft have jettisoned their ordnance. However, before all that, they do get to shoot at us. Yeah, so yeah, and then we need to come out of this clean to be able to have a slim chance of winning the initiative back. Right, okay. Right, let's go back to procedure and let Vlad have a shot at us then. Okay, right, just try to do this a bit quicker. Their manoeuvre rating is going to be -5. Remember. The manoeuvre differential, sorry, is going to be -5. That does have a plus there. Am I missing something there? I don't think so. Because they've got 3, because they're marked with a BVR void marker. And we've got 8. So take 8. It says subtract the enemy manoeuvre rating from the flight's manoeuvre rating. Yeah, it's like 3 take away 8, so it's -5. Aggression differential is nothing. Geometry was nothing. And nothing else matters. So he's got -5. I think that's right. Well, it's good to get out there and we can see. Somebody can tell me. And they've only got 1 aircraft attacking. Remember, it's not counting the fact we've damaged the other one yet, because this all happens at the same time. So they do have 1 that's undamaged. So rolling 2 dice, giving it a -5. We've rolled 11, so their result is a 6, which is less than 9, which is no. So they're not going to get a shot at us. So all good there for us. And yeah. So just going back to the combat sequence there. We've done maneuver. We've done shot resolution. Depletion we should have checked for as well. Yeah, I did forget about that one again. Modify roll by -1 per shot taken after the first. Now, we only had one shot, they had none. So we are rolling 1 dice and our depletion numbers are 3. Rolled a 9, so we're good. So no depletion of the missiles. Then damage allocation, we've done that. We've damaged the flight. Morale, flight's taken morale check, 13.1. Right, we need to do that first. The morale, right, do we both roll on this then? I'm forgetting now. I've turned it over, hang on. Yeah, 13.1 morale checks, page 21. All attacking defending flights in an air-to-air combat conduct a morale check after combat has been resolved, even if no shots occurred by either side, exception for BVR combat. Conduct morale checks and only if... Right, sorry. Flights that take damage, right, from A and Sam also conduct a morale check. Conduct a morale check, roll 2 dice, consult the morale check table. Modify the roll as indicated, apply damage loss modifiers only for aircraft damaged or lost in the just resolved combat. Okay, so yeah, this could be our downfall too then. We've got to roll on this. So let's do us first then. So we're rolling on the air-to-air combat part, and our aggression value is a 0. Oh no, that's what you would lose or gain. Well, there's no real gains. We need to check modifiers. Right, aggression value is 0. Had surprise, no. Disadvantage, no. +1 per enemy aircraft damage, cripple, shot down. We damage 1, so we've got a +1. Nothing happened to us. So yeah, so we got a +1 on this. This is 2 dice? Yeah. So a +1, and we're looking at the air-to-air combat. Right, here we go. Rolled 6 +1 is 7. +1 is 7, it's 68, we're disordered. Nah. -2 to our aggression value as well. Yeah, high numbers are better. High numbers what we wanted there. Wasn't it anything above, well actually above 14 to be honest. It needed to be high. Yeah. So we're now disordered. I don't think we need to go any further, do we? It's, yeah, I'm stretching things out here now. Because we're now in a state where we can definitely not take on Tolikov now, because we need to roll. Well, our aggression value is going to be -2, so even the check for, well, you can't do it this turn anyway. No, when the turn you get the disorder marker, you can't even roll to remove it. But even the next turn, oh yeah, if you'd been beside the airfield, you would have got that +8. Yeah, let's just stop there. Eh? So yeah, a valiant attempt. We did take out Vlad in the end. I don't know what would have happened to him morale wise, but Tolikov was not affected anyway. We're now, both our flights are going to be disordered. Yeah, we're out of the game. And Tolikov, there's no issues with him. Well, he's only got one aircraft in his flight, but he's able to move the 2 hexes next turn, no issues, into Cassel and bomb. So yeah, let's leave it at that. So 2 or 3 wee things to look at maybe come the end there. Yeah, it was quite, you can see it does get quite exciting when the dice rolls, most of the dice rolls that were going against me there, but that 4 was important. But however, yeah, morale check in the end was going to, yeah, I needed above a 14. That's quite tough, really. The morale check's pretty pretty rough, isn't it? And disordered is horrendous. It's a horrible state to be in. So you can see that getting into standard air combat is risky. And I knew that actually. Did I not say that I was better avoiding that at first? It's only because this is our last sort of effort at being able to do something. Right. Yeah. I think we'll call it a day there, and hopefully I don't spot anything else that says, "Oh, but I could have done this and come back." No, I won't. We'll give up. I mean, we did lose the role in the event chart as well, so we knew we were doomed from there. It just felt like a rotten way to go out, didn't it? But I can see clearly that if I was to play this scenario again, which I'm not going to do, I know Howard suggests that I should do that. I want to move on and find out what's next, to be honest. I'm just greedy to find out what's or not greedy, eager to find out what's next, rather than play that again. So we will do that. So I'll wrap this up and I'll look over the next scenario maybe tomorrow if I get a chance, and hopefully get it set up and maybe press record tomorrow at some point if I've got the time. If not, still got a couple more days before work kicks back in, so hopefully in the next couple of days I might be able to start scenario 2. Okay guys, right, cheers.